Hey everybody. I last posted my most recent upload a day ago detailing how I'm dealing with a lot of stress and stuff, and cautioning at the idea that I might not be able to do this anymore, this type of running the channel sort of thing. Not just related to gaming so much, but just making videos in general because it's stressing me out because a bunch of things on my mind, both physical and emotional. I did post that yesterday. It was received pretty well as far as I could tell by the likes and the comments and stuff, but it still holds true, by the way. I want to point that out. So I'm trying to move on from that. I want to just try and take it one day at a time. That wasn't necessarily meant to say, yes, I'm not going to be active anymore. It's like, yeah, I'm not in the good place right now. Let's see, play it by ear. So I do feel making more entertaining things that are a bit more laid back and not so much focusing on something so much would be a bit more beneficial for me at this point, right? So for this video, I'm going to do something completely random. I had an idea in my head to do this a little while back, but it's definitely by far one of the most random things I've done so far as like not gaming content. Because as someone who grew up in the '90s as a kid, well, bulk of who made me who I am today was spent in the '90s, right? That one decade really defined me. So, not that this is specifically related to the '90s, but if you grew up in the '90s like I did, you would know like commercials were a big part of life itself. Because yeah, you didn't really have any streaming services. You didn't have any like digital video formats. You could skip to wherever you want, right? Because back in the day, if you want to watch something on TV, which was very common, because we didn't have streaming, we didn't have a lot of ways to watch media outside of live television, right? I mean, yeah, there was VHS and stuff, but the less said about that, the better compared to the 4K, 8K shit we have now. Am I right? So yeah, if you watch television live, which was the only way you really could back in the day, you're subject to commercials just like anything else. Now, most of them were very crap. I'm not defending that by any means, but once in a while, you do see those little rare gems that just like really make you smile and also get your attention for whatever reason. So I assembled just 10 random things I just want to just go over and stuff. Now, obviously, I don't own the rights to these things. They're just randomly uploaded on different channels, so all like respective rights go to them. And as far as hosting it on this service anyway, so odds are I'm gonna get hit with a lot of copyright stuff, which is fine. I don't make money off this anyway, so it's not a big deal if they claim it. So also another thing, while gathering these links, they're not gonna be in the highest quality because '90s, right? They weren't upscaled or anything. So I do have a list of them right here to hide what they are entailing. I did just sort of like number them with some vague description, so I know what to expect from it. So yeah, here we go. 10 stuff I just wanted to just go through over because they just strike a chord in me. It's something from I experienced back in the day, right? So first up, as you can see, we're gonna go down from 1 to 10. We're gonna start with Weird Dancing. Now, this was from I believe a cell phone company. I believe it's called Nextel, by the way. I'm not really sure who they are, whatever, but I can't really verify for sure if these all were from the '90s or not. But bear with me, guys. These are just things that just stuck out to me back in the day that thankfully I was able to find, like in video format nowadays online. So obviously, when I click on the link, it's going to start playing automatically. So I will bring it up. Again, the quality is not going to be great, but I'll bring it up to go full screen and let it just play itself out. So let's bring this up right here. Okay, why is it like that, guys? Hang on. See, I always run into problems, guys. Why is it like that? Hold on. It's very weird, right? Because why is it like that? Hold on. Jeez. See, this is why I always run into problems doing this. It's because of my taskbar. Is it because my taskbar is not full screen? Is that what the problem is, guys? Jesus Christ. Tell me that's the reason I'm running into these problems. No, not really. I don't know, guys. I really don't. I'm trying to have a good thing here. And can I not go full screen with this? There we go. Thank you. Thank you.
What's going on? We don't know how many converters we have in stock. We don't know where our trucks are. No one knows where Mackler is.
6,000 converters. Trucks are at I-4, exit 9. Mackler, where are you?
In the airport.
Okay, we turn off autoplay. Thank you very much. Wow, that's just like a sampling, like something that I just remember from my childhood. It makes no sense, right? Obviously, the message is like, yeah, we're advertising our service because we could do these things with our phones, but the way they go about it is just so weird, right? They're supposed to be working and they're doing these bizarre dances to this song. I'm not even sure if it's a real song or not. So obviously the supervisor comes in or something. It's like, we need to know, why aren't you working? We need to know these things. So they use the phones, they verify this information in like 3 seconds, they go back to their dancing. It's just something like that just really sticks out to me, by the way. It's very cool. I wish we had more advertising like that. Because I definitely feel like the boring advertising we usually see here in the United States, like, oh, I have a headache. Here, take this. Wow, I feel so much better. That's bullshit, guys. No one's gonna care about that shit. They're not. They're really not. But something like that, that gets you talking, right? Gets you thinking. Makes you think of the product. Even if you don't really buy into the product, it does stay in your mind, though. It's good advertising. So that's what I'm going over here. Okay, next up is another weird thing. It's sort of like a mocking sort of situation. Okay, so I'm pretty sure you're all aware of the commercials back in the day when a mascot would come to life or something in front of a family, and they just act like it's perfectly normal what's happening. Like Tony the Tiger, saying Frosted Flakes are great or whatever, and he just comes to life or comes off screen. Excuse me. And everyone's just saying, "Oh, hey Tony, how's it going?" Not how real life works, right? So this sort of mocking sort of situation with commercial 2 is like, what if that did happen to like a regular family? How would they react if something just came to life and started talking to them? So, okay, it's just called the Sunfizz commercial, but let's get into it. Hopefully we won't run into that problem full screen.
Mom, we're thirsty!
Well, I've got 2 glasses of Sunfizz coming right up.
Why does it do that, guys? Why does it do that? I'm trying to have like... Hold on. Do I have to wait for it to load a bit more? Okay, maybe I get rid of the TubeBuddy thing and it'll help. I don't know. Thank you, jeez.
That's our favorite!
That's because there's a delicious ray of sunshine in every drop!
Come on, guys.
I'm filled with nature's goodness! Hey, what's with you people? I've got vitamins and minerals!
Trust your gut, not some cartoon character.
Very true, right? Very true to like what the advertising standards are. People just act like it's normal when this happens. Like, oh yeah, hey, how's it going? I'm gonna drink your product. But this definitely subverts the expectations if that were to happen in real life. Because obviously it's not like this family is acting in a commercial. They're sort of acting in the manner as such, but then like, wow, this son's coming to life and started talking to me about the product. Also, yeah, if that were to be a real life scenario, you would freak the fuck out, right? Obviously, the mother's not having it either. It's not just the kids freaking out; it's also the dog too. And still, the son is still trying to peddle the product while it's chasing them. They're all freaking out, trying to get away. And of course, the mother trips. No cliche thing in horror, when someone trips or something. And it's like, no, get out of here. You're in danger. You have to run, kids. This thing's gonna fucking kill me. I used to love that commercial so much. There was sort of an ad campaign back in the day with Sprite doing that sort of thing, subverting expectations. There was another one where they had an athlete. I don't know who it was, maybe like a basketball player, and saying like, "Yeah, I love this." And while they were talking about the product, it would show this little caricature of him like holding money bags, something like, "Yeah, I'm only doing this because I'm being paid to do it." And then when he actually drinks the thing, it's like you hear the ka-ching, 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 as if he's being paid millions of dollars just to drink this stupid thing that he doesn't even care about. I wish I knew the source of that one. I probably could find it if I look. I know it's a Sprite commercial, but okay. Number 3. Okay. This isn't really like a very funny commercial. This next one, it's a Barks root beer commercial, but something just always stuck out to me about it. Like, it's so weird, like the way it proceeds to tell a story, even though there really is no story to tell. Let's see if I can actually get through this without having the screen freak out. I don't know why it's causing that, guys. Hold on. So let's see. It loads up, right? Do I have to wait for it to load fully before going full screen? Hold on. Okay, that's the problem, guys. Duh. So yeah, this is for Barks root beer.
Barks, the one with bite. What do you mean Barks has bite? Johnny? What do you mean Barks has bite? Johnny? What do you mean Barks has bite? Oh, hey, man. What do you mean Barks has bite? Here, try some of this.
Who does that?
Ouch. I haven't seen him that excited since he got his heels. Ouch! You tell him, Johnny. You tell the world.
Laney Lockwood.
Okay, I don't need to see that. That's not about the news. Okay, what a weird thing, right? He's obviously a salesman selling the product, right? Which is not that uncommon. If you go to New York City, you see like a street vendor like every 2 minutes. I live in New York, guys. I haven't been to New York City in a while, but yeah, it's something like that very common. Someone sets up a food stall or a pretzel stall, they sell stuff, and they preach to people, like, come buy my product or something. Yeah, it's very common. But the way they went about that story, or whatever you want to call it, so he's preaching the thing about the Barks root beer, right? And suddenly you hear a voice saying, like, what does that mean, that like, catchphrase you're saying? And obviously he knows this guy named Johnny or something, but where does that come into the equation? Was this as part of an ad campaign? Obviously he doesn't see Johnny because he sees a woman standing in front of his stall. Johnny is standing to the other side, but okay, also the repetitiveness stands out to me. Like he says, "What do you mean Barks has bite?" 4 times in a row. It's not really a funny commercial in my mind, but it just stuck out to me. It's very weird, right? But still, he seems to know Johnny, but at the same time, Johnny doesn't know what Barks root beer is. Because he drinks it, and he seems impressed by it, though the whole bite aspect, like, it has, like, a sharp taste to it. I get that, but why present it in such a weird manner, you know? Like, having him stand off camera, ask the same thing 4 times in a row. What does the woman have to do with anything either, right? Obviously, you could tell by the horrible quality with the static at the bottom. Yeah, this was back in the day. As you can see it by the title, it says a 90s commercial. I do remember that back in the heyday, but I was still just as confused as I am as I am now than I was back then. Alright, so this shouldn't take too long to get through all of them. I do like to be a chatterbox when it comes to these things. So next up, number 4, yeah. You guys remember these bacon strips commercials? It's sort of like a treat you give dogs, you know, like in the shape of a bacon strip. I don't know if they're still around or not, but there was this really weird ad campaign where you'd see the perspective from the dog's point of view, right? And obviously it paints the dog as sort of like an idiot, but you'll see what I mean. You'll see what I mean. So let's see. Wait for it to load, right? I guess that is the problem, guys. I'm sorry about that. I should have realized. Okay, so this came out in 1989, according to this.
Bacon! Bacon! Where's the bacon? I smell bacon! 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 Gotta be bacon! Only one thing smells like bacon! That's bacon! 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 There! From that bag! What's it say? I can't read! Please! Please! Give me what's in the bag! Chewy, yummy, smoky bacon!
There you go.
Oh boy! Oh boy! Oh boy! No! 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 It's bacon!
No, it's Bacon Strips, brand dog snack from Purina. Bacon Strips. Dogs don't know it's not bacon.
It's bacon!
So you get what I'm saying, guys? Obviously, they did paint the dog as sort of like an idiot, like they don't know it's not bacon. Well, obviously, they don't know what bacon is. They're not going to know what the process of meat and stuff, where meat comes from and stuff, but whatever, you get what I'm saying, right? It's sort of interesting, you see it from the first person of the dog, you even see this little snout at the bottom. But there are some, like, errors with that sort of thing, because obviously, from what I've read, dogs are sort of colorblind from what I understand. Not fully colorblind, based on a few stories I've read. It's more like they see some certain shades. But for the most part, it's sort of like a black and white sort of perspective. I don't know how people know this through research or whatever, but that's what they all say. I also have other things that see things through dogs' eyes. I mean, there was one episode of The Fairly Odd Parents where Timmy switches bodies with Doidle, you know, Vicky's dog, and he sees in black and white while as the dog. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know how they know that, but whatever. As in the commercial, you saw the dog was seeing in color. No, not to mention, he's talking to himself, acting very idiotic. Like, I can't read. Of course you can't read. You're a dog. You're illiterate. You wouldn't understand what that, like, it says bacon strips or something. Also, the woman seems sort of brain dead as well, with that deadpan expression on her face. Oh, here, you'll like this. I don't know. There was a whole ad campaign of this stuff I remember back in the day. They had multiple commercials of this dog saying, "Oh, it is bacon. It's not bacon, but it is bacon." You know, it's just so stupid. You don't see advertising like this anymore, which is really nuts, by the way. But okay. Okay, next up is going to be a Super Bowl commercial. From what I understand the source of it, there's going to be a copyrighted song playing during it, but obviously I don't care about that. As long as it doesn't get blocked, I don't care by covering it. It's just like a weird thing. I mean, I know Super Bowl commercials are meant to be outlandish, but I think I actually saw this one as part of like when I was seeing a movie, not just the trailers before a movie. I do remember something like this was playing before the trailers, all the commercial spots that would go on before that. So I think that's where I first saw this. Let's see. Okay.
Joe, I'll tell you what, this first half has been awfully impressive, and he has looked as comfortable as I've ever seen him in the pocket this...
What is love? Baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me no more. What is love?
Damn.
Diet Pepsi Max with ginseng and more caffeine.
Stop it!
I'm with that guy. That's just cringe. If I just saw that in real life, I'd be cringing as hell. Yes, I understand what soda does have caffeine in it. I never actually had that drink. I don't even know if they still sell it. Probably not. But yeah, more caffeine means you stay awake more. The way they go about it is just so weird. Like, they're all dozing off in public as if people really do that. And you saw that guy in the diner. Like, what was up with his hairstyle in the back? I've never seen that before in my life, that kind of hairstyle. But yeah, you know, get what I'm saying, right? With ridiculousness. And even if it had a lot of caffeine, it wouldn't go into effect that quickly, obviously. It's meant to be funny, but still. Also, the weird choice of using Hathaway, What Is Love? Because, I obviously, yeah, I'm not really familiar with their work. From what I understand, they were a one-hit wonder, Hathaway, but it's so weird. I think that song actually came out in the 90s, right? I was not even aware of that song existing in the 90s. I would pretty much learned of it because of all the... excuse me. All the people making, like, memes and stuff during 2000. So, and according to this, it came out in 2008, so, jeez. Goes to show. So yeah, obviously I'll probably get claimed on that. I don't care, by the way, guys, like I said. More important thing is making money, am I right? Speaking of which, okay, it's gonna be a very funny one for you'll see what I mean, guys. Just as a full precaution, this does deal with slight spoilers for Titanic. Yes, James Cameron's 1997 movie Titanic. I know there's I know some of you might saying like, of course everyone's seen Titanic at this point. Who hasn't? Don't be so sure about that, guys. I've seen people do blind reactions to the Star Wars trilogy, the original Star Wars trilogy. Here, like Star Wars first time watching, they're not aware of the things that happen in that movie, aside from the very basic stuff like Vader or 3PO. They don't know the plot twists. It's so crazy to think that. But yeah, I'm not here to judge though. But anyway, there are spoilers to the one scene of Titanic towards the end, so you've been warned if you haven't seen Titanic. Get a full screen, and there we go. This looks familiar, doesn't it? Wait a minute.
Make more practical decisions with help from the Verizon Super Pages. The Verizon Super Pages. Better pages for better decisions. Verizon.
Yeah, I get the message too. I'm not sure. Okay, apparently this came out in 2002, according to the title. But okay, so obviously going into the spoilers of the story, which at this point you've been warned. So yeah, that is Old Rose, played by the late Gloria Stewart, throwing the heart of the ocean into the water. It's meant to symbolize the fact that she held on to that for so long and that she's ready to find closure. She's dropping the thing that, whatever the guy's name was, played by Bill Paxton, R.I.P. by the way, who wanted it so bad because it's a very valuable diamond that's worth a lot. Now, a lot of people do see that movie for the first time by a modern setting, like, why did she drop it? That was worth, like, millions of dollars. Like, she could have just held on to it or something. It's not really the point of the movie, the money. It's about letting go for if you saw the movie. But that gives the perspective of this commercial so great. Like, wait a minute, that was worth millions of dollars. I shouldn't throw that away. I should go and pawn it at a pawn shop and get my money back for it, right? Which is kind of stupid. Yeah, I get it. But the whole point is that, yeah, well, she didn't know where the pawn shop was. So by using the Yellow Pages, she was able to find one. Again, very stupid, by the way. I get it. Because obviously a pawn shop would not be able to sell out that much money for what the diamond was apparently worth, which I don't know what it was worth. Also with inflation, you have to figure that out as well. But it's so funny though. It's like it ties into that. Like, why did she drop it? Well, Well, she didn't have to drop it. She sold it, which is kind of, again. Also, going by the ending of Titanic, obviously, she froze in the ocean, then she goes to sleep and she dies. Yes, that is confirmed by James Cameron, by the way. She didn't just go to sleep and dream about meeting Jack again. No, straight from the horse's mouth, director James Cameron said she absolutely died after she went to sleep. She died after sleep. So, it's not like the money would have done her any good anyway, right? Of course, in that scenario, yeah, she did live to spend the money, but she's in her, 90s or whatever it was, 100s, so what's she gonna need money for anyway? I mean, I know she has, the daughter or the granddaughter that went with her on the boat, but I'm just getting out of character here. It's very funny to think that they tied their advertisement for the Yellow Pages with the ending of Titanic. It's just so creative. You gotta give him credit for that, by the way. You really do. Of course, I'm pretty sure James Cameron didn't really appreciate that much, assuming he even knows about this, but whatever. Okay, next up we're going to go through... yes. Very old jingle from the way back in the day. Hey. Not this, by the way, guys. It comes after this.
The very next time you miss a call... Don't
Look at this quality.
When you're not in time, press star 69 and get back that call you missed.
Hi, it's Ann. You called?
Call return. You don't have to subscribe, just use it.
Nah, I was just washing... George.
Not in time. Press star 69 from 9X. 75 cents per use plus cost of call. This spring...
Okay, I can see that. Okay, wow, you get the gist, right? I don't know if you ever heard that jingle, not in time, press star 69. That was something that was very active back during the 90s. We didn't have caller ID or anything. There were no cell phones, really. So if you did miss a call, you didn't know who it was because you have a way of identifying them. You would hit star 69 on the keypad and it would call back the number that just called you. So the fact that they actually charge you for that, I do remember that. It wasn't a free thing. To utilize that service, they did charge your phone bill. Like, really? You're that cheap? Oh my god. But yes, the only way you could figure out who called you if you were in time, by the way, because there was no way to identify it otherwise. It could have been anybody. It could have been your aunt, it could have been your uncle, it could have been, Joe somebody from down the street. You would never know unless you did star 69. So it's kind of an interesting thing. It's sort of like an ancient sort of thing nowadays, because you wouldn't need to do that now. Someone calls on your cell phone, you can have record of who it was, right? So, product of the time, guys. That's what it was. But yeah, that's where the jingle came from, not in time. So there you go. Little history lesson. Alright, 3 more to go. This next one's going to be for the chocolate chip Eggo, which I'm not sure when this came about, but okay, let's see. Again, very low quality, as you can see, but like everything else. 1999, according to this, damn. Took them that long to make a chocolate chip Eggo.
Oh, mercy.
See where this is going?
Hello, Eggo.
This chocolate chip Eggo tastes like mud.
Sir, we don't make a chocolate chip Eggo. Yet.
Introducing Eggo Chocolate Chip, your favorite waffle now packed with chocolate chips.
Now that's more like it, Sonny.
Well, I'm glad you think so, sir. All right, people, let's go. Let's go.
Hey, Eggo.
Yay, capitalism, am I right? Oh, God. It goes to show, how the complete randomness of this situation with the guy and his wife, I'm assuming his wife and the dog, led to him making this product that propelled him up the corporate ladder. It's just so relatable when it comes to certain things, but yeah. Completely accidental. She had a regular waffle, dog came in, all dirty, got mud on the waffle. The husband was not aware of this. He thinks it's a real chocolate chip waffle. He calls in saying it's as defective. It gives the guy the idea. He goes from the customer service agent to some sort of executive position. It's just so relatable, isn't it, when it comes to things like this? And now people steal ideas, or allegedly steal ideas, and it propels them to stardom, and they never credit the person they stole the idea from, I just thought that was funny. The thing, it took them until 1999 to make a chocolate chip Eggo. I mean, how long have Eggo waffles been around? Like decades, right? Whatever. Is what it is. It does bring up the idea. How long have chocolate chips been around? They never thought to combine the two? I mean, chocolate chip pancakes have been a thing for ages. Okay, now this one's sort of like very old school. It is related to gaming, by the way. It's a Sega Genesis commercial. I might do a whole nother video on that, the whole console war culture sort of thing that this caused back in the day. Because, yeah, I was part of that, by the way, regrettably, but yeah. Anyway. Okay. Yeah, I gotta get rid of this two-buddy extension. This screwed me over here. Hang on.
16-bit arcade graphics.
You can't do this on Nintendo. Genesis does.
16-bit sports action.
You can't do this on Nintendo. Genesis
does.
Genesis
does.
Genesis
does.
Genesis
does.
Genesis does.
Get Joe Montana free, Pat Riley free, Buster Douglas free, Super Monaco GP free, or Collins free. What Nintendo? Buy a 16-bit Genesis system between now and October 31st and get an extra game.
Yeah, it goes to show, like, some people, like, nowadays consider the console war such a stupid thing. I still think it's stupid nowadays. Even back then I thought it was relatively stupid, but no, they say, oh no, Xbox sucks, PlayStation better. But on their side, PlayStation sucks, Xbox better. You know, I think the whole console war thing is very stupid. You shouldn't swear brand loyalty to someone, because by the end of the day, all three of the major console corporations, Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo, they've done a fuck ton of bad things, right? Not just from a business perspective, from a moral perspective as well, with their things that they do, you know, where they copyright strike stuff or just ban people unnecessarily. No company is immune to that. So if you're going to swear your loyalty to whatever brand, you're wasting your goddamn time. Back in the day, we didn't really know better, because it was either Team Nintendo or Team Sega, right? And people back then, especially myself, stood their foot in the ground and said, this is the hill I'm dying on. So, I know nowadays you wouldn't see advertising like this. You don't really see them calling out the competition like Sega did back then, but they did not hold back, by the way, Sega. This was a very common thing, where they would say, like, yeah, guess Sega is for mature people. Only kiddies played the Super Nintendo. I remember that so vividly, right? And the whole Genesis does what Nintendo don't, obviously a pun to poke fun at the competition. I remember that so vividly. It's just insane. It really is. I mean, yeah, sure, Nintendo did revive the gaming industry after it crashed in 83, excuse me. With the starting out of 85 with the original NES. And then Sega thought they could, like, push them out of the competition, but that didn't work out, of course. You know, their horrible decisions with the 32X, the CD, add-ons, then the Saturn, then the Dreamcast, essentially just kaputted them. They still exist as a third-party developer, but wow, they made a fuck ton of bad decisions back during the 90s, I'll give you that. The only real successful system they had was the Genesis, though. As you saw in that commercial, they did not hold back with their criticism of trashing the competition, right? It's crazy to think that they were able to do that back then. No one really cared. But then again, when the PS1 came out, remember that commercial which Crash Bandicoot outside Nintendo headquarters saying, hey, look what we could do on the PlayStation you can't do on the N64, right? Yeah, but that's also more of a personal thing, because, you know, Nintendo did sort of screw Sony over with their deal, but whatever. I may make a separate video on that, because it is a very involved subject, you know, Sega versus Nintendo. Because it was something I was personally involved in, so I probably will make a full video on that. But just to give you guys a general sense of how advertising was back then with the gaming giants, they didn't hold back, like I showed you. Okay, so last one could probably trigger a lot of people who are familiar with it. I know it does every time I see this. It's one of the most irritating commercials you've ever seen. I did have to throw one bad commercial in here, right? It's just pure cringe, by the way. It's for Head-On. It's the stupidest thing you've ever seen in your life. A lot of people do consider it one of the worst commercials ever made. I can't really argue with that. Okay, it is very short, but trust me.
Head-On. Apply directly.
Sorry, guys. I gotta get rid of this stupid two-buddy extension, really. Now, if this like image itself is not triggering your PTSD as it would for me in the 90s, okay.
Head-On. Apply directly to the forehead. Head-On. Apply directly to the forehead. Head-On. Apply directly to the forehead. Head-On is available without a prescription at retailers nationwide.
Far worse than the Barks Has Bite thing, right? It's supposed to relieve like migraine pain, but no. If anything, watching that commercial probably will give you a fucking migraine, right? Jeez. And they went with that for so long, by the way. It's just so crazy that how many times I've seen that fucking ad back in the day. Definitely one of the worst things I've ever seen. Not just because it's bad, but because it's cringe and it's repetitive, and it will give you a fucking headache, right? Alright, so that's just 10 things I wanted to share. I think I've gone on too long as it is with my commentary. I'm still feeling a little very tired, you know, very emotional, but at the very least, if I get to do something a bit more humorous like this, it does cheer me up a bit, because I'm not really focusing on like doing something specific. it's not as involved. Yes, I do have to be a constant chatterbox as opposed to just being able to just talk when I want to, but it is a bit more relaxing in my mind. It doesn't require as much effort, and it's not as long, because I'm not doing this for 30 minutes or whatever. I'm not sure how long I've been recording for, but it is making me feel a little better now. Now that it's done, yeah, I do feel a bit more relaxed, to be honest. Not kidding. So that's something I just want to share with you guys. There are obviously, like, probably tens of thousands more commercials, maybe hundreds of thousands more that exist from my childhood, but these are just ones I picked out randomly that sort of stand out to me. So there we go. And obviously, all the channels and their sources are listed, by the way. So if you want to see them for yourself, out me commentating, whatever, or the sources, whatever. Not that I'm really sure that these people hold the rights to them anyway. They probably just re-upload them. I'm not sure, but whatever. Alright, so that's something I want to share with you guys. I have some more ideas coming. I do have some more Dying Light 2 videos filmed that I just haven't gotten a chance to work on. I do have one more Black Ops 3 video I also have to work on as well. Not easy when you're not feeling well, because I've pretty much been bedridden like past few days because of being tired and such. I am trying to hang in there, guys, and obviously the support given is always great. You know, because I've been doing this for so long, if not much to show for it, as you're all well aware. I never made a single cent from this stuff. I really have no intention of asking for money at this point, even though, yeah, it does take a drain on my finances to keep doing this, you know. But I like doing it, guys. It does, like, bring me some level of satisfaction knowing, hey, the stuff I'm doing, even if I feel a little comfortable and it's not making me any money, it makes people feel better. So that's good enough for me, right? So there's that, right? I dragged on too long. I'll see you soon. Something else, guys. I gotta take a break for a bit. I don't know how much more active I will be in uploading for the foreseeable future, but I am trying to hang in there, right? So, thank you.